Do you believe there is a gender war?
A gender war? Yeah. Absolutely. Feminism is killing this country.
Can you be more specific?
Feminism has taught us to hate men and to fear men because capital profits off of my fear as a woman. If I'm afraid of men, they can make a profit off of that. There's a gender war because men are the underdogs right now. Men are the ones being told you're feared, you're wrong, everything you do is wrong, go make money, don't show emotion, be. Women are making a rise to the top. We've over-feminized so much and included women so much, which is great, but we don't have to tear men down to include women.
So why is there so much talk about male privilege?
Because for a long time there was male privilege, and now the script is flipped. Now women are the ones with privilege, but no one's ready to hear that.
But why are we still talking about male privilege?
Because no one's ready for it. We're not ready to make that change. We're seeing more women in films, more women in power. The amount of jobs that I have seen that say women only is ridiculous. In an effort to hire more women and get them hired and include them, we've excluded men.
Who is more likely to be told what they want to hear, men or women?
Maybe us.
Would you agree that it's women because guys want sex, politicians want their votes, and businesses want their money?
Yes.
And if you control the women, don't you also control the men?
Yes.
So are women more likely to be manipulative or manipulated?
We are neither because we're taking over and we are fighting for our country.
Would you agree that it's women because guys want sex, politicians want their votes, and businesses want their money?
Yes.
And if you control the women, don't you also control the men?
No.
Well, doesn't the fact that ladies' nights exist prove that if you control the women and you get them all to show up, then the guys are going to show up and spend money?
Yes.
So then if you control the women, don't you also control the men?
That's a good
To
point
an
there.
extent.
That's a good point.
Okay. So are women more likely to be manipulative or be manipulated?
Manipulative.
If women are so good at manipulation, why can't they recognize their own manipulation?
Oh, we can.
Yeah, we definitely
I can.
know. We definitely know.
If women are so good at manipulation, why can't they recognize their own manipulation?
We know when we're manipulating.
What are your thoughts on the following conspiracy theory? That the women's movement was designed to trick women to enter the workforce in order to pay income tax.
I would say that's yes. Yes. The government is manipulating everybody.
It comes from all different angles. So it comes from men judging men judging women, women judging men, women judging women as well.
So are women more likely to be manipulative or be manipulated?
Manipulated.
Can you think of any time in recorded human history that women have had more power than right now?
No, we have the most power right now. Look behind me. It's all women.
Can you tell me any countries other than Western ones like America, Australia, and England where women have more power than they do in those regions?
No, I think we have the most power in the United States of America. That's why everybody wants to come here.
So why do women feel so oppressed in both the time and place where women seem to have the most power?
I don't think women feel oppressed. I think the media tells people that we feel oppressed. We're not oppressed.
So why do women feel so oppressed in both the time and places where women seem to have the most power?
Because I feel
Still not equal.
we're getting up there, but we're not equal yet, and I think that's fun.
How will we know when we've achieved equality?
When women are paid the same as men, for one. I feel like if we're doing the same job, why am I getting paid less?
I mean, when we're at a place where male politicians aren't making choices over our bodies, when they have no...
I mean, aren't there female politicians making choices over female bodies as well?
100%, there is. And
So why blame men then?
because if you look at the big picture on like the Supreme Court, what was the vote?
And it's not blaming men, it's just blaming the government.
Yeah.
Well, no, I know that, but I'm saying, like, are you aware that, the Supreme Court during the original Roe versus Wade decision was all white men, and now it's actually more of a diverse court?
Yes.
So wouldn't it make more sense to not necessarily blame men, but just kind of just blame those individuals?
I don't know about saying men are the issue and men are the worst, because that's unfair, and there is females that are making these decisions as well. But I think we need feminism in order to move forward, because we need to be united as well, because there are men that are making some of those decisions.
Why does no one seem to complain about a gender pay gap when female models earn more money than male models?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think that When it comes to models about women, the women models, I think that women are more aesthetically pleasing.
Okay.
Sex sells for women a lot more than it does for men.
True, but would it be possible to sell sex if men did not objectify women?
I mean, you can do anything. There's a way to go about it without being disrespectful.
How so? What do you think?
Respecting someone's field of work, if that is your job, selling sex.
Okay.
Is that?
Why are women quick to accept a woman who can sell sex, but are quick to reject a man who can buy it?
That depends on the girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't apply to me.
Do you think politics and religion matter in a relationship?
Yes.
If so, why is it often said not to discuss them on a first date when it seems to be the first thing you'd want to talk about?
That's a really good freaking question.
Do you think it's possible for a man to get a date if he supported Trump or was an anti-feminist?
Possibly, yeah. There's somebody for everybody.
Okay, well, I mean, do you think that someone who is pro-life would end up with someone who is pro-choice?
No.
No.
So then, wouldn't you say that politics definitely matter?
Yes, I do. I think
Okay,
politics
yeah.
matter.
In that degree, yes.
Okay. Why is it often said not to discuss them on a first date when it seems to be the first thing you'd want to talk about?
I hear it discussed, but I think now we're moving away from that, and I think people's views on politics and the big issues are becoming more and more important to both genders.
So if a person avoids politics or religion on a first date, can you assume they don't want a relationship?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, isn't that playing it safe?
I think it is playing it safe, but I think if, especially in this day and age, if you play it safe and you just ignore those questions, they're going to come up anyways.
Well, so then if a person does bring up politics and religion, can you assume that they do want a relationship?
Yeah, I think so, yeah. The person you want to spend your time with, you want to know where they stand on especially issues that matter to you.
So if women are looking for relationships, wouldn't it make sense for them to bring up politics and religion on a first date?
I think they want to, they're just scared to.
Why do the majority of young women happen to be left-leaning, woke liberals?
Because they've been influenced by modern day misandry, feminism.
Because they've been indoctrinated in college and they need to look at their constitutional rights and figure out God. They need to get good with God.
They feel more like they're having more control over their body, over their sexuality, without having to worry about what the religious side is going to say, what the Bible's going to say, what the pro-choice or the pro-life people are going to say. The left-leaning woke liberals are like, whatever, you're in charge of your own body, you're in charge of your own life, and I think that's important.
Democrats play on young women. Democrats make more money on minorities, which are women, young people, because statistically, young people aren't making the money. Young people aren't the ones making the money, so young people are the ones benefiting from the government and a socialist society, which is what Democrats want.
If women make up 51% of the U.S. population, why are women seen as minorities?
Maybe not minorities statistically, but they're seen as having less job opportunities and less opportunities in general.
What do young conservative women think about women's issues?
Young conservative women, I think, are different from the past, but they still have their own issues as far as wanting to reinstate chivalry and traditional misandry. They need to be held accountable too. They might not be feminists, but they are still not equalists. They do not believe in equality either.
I can't speak for all conservative women. I think as a conservative woman, I'm empathetic to women's issues. I am a woman. When it comes to things like Roe v. Wade, I'm extremely controversial. I don't see it as a woman's issue, even though it affects women, and I feel deeply for the women affected. I see it as a political and a constitutional issue. It's a law issue, and our Supreme Court held up the law and the Constitution. So conservative women, like for me being a conservative woman, I can't tell you what I think on every woman's issue, but I can tell you I take the feeling and emotion out of women's issues and put it back into politics and what it takes to run a society.
How is liberal women wanting handouts from the government different than conservative women wanting men to take care of them?
The government's replaced men, and we no longer have that capability, that opportunity applied to men due to equal employment opportunity and women's independency. they value money more than men, and they'll put out a lot of the effort to meet and greet and try to sell something in their professions, yet they will not do the same in the social scene in meeting a man. So that shows you where their priorities lie and their values lie. It's more in money than a relationship and family. And
I don't know that many conservative women that want women or men to take care of them. We take care of ourselves. A man adds to your life.
I don't think necessarily all liberal women want handouts, and not all conservative women want men to take care of them. And there are plenty of gay conservative women as well.
If men choose to no longer marry, does that mean these women will look to the government to support them instead?
Not anymore. I think maybe back like in the 50s and 60s when women were taught to stay home. But in today's society, it takes two incomes regardless.
a lot of times they'll use men like through alimony and child support to get the same thing with the government backing them at men's expense.
Are women by nature more socialist because they want to be provided for?
They're more socialist, from what I gather and can see expressed, because they have been spoiled. They're used to getting their way, and they've gone right from men providing and spoiling them to the government doing it.
I think women are more socialist because the Democratic Party has played on women, has said, we're here for you. They market to women. It doesn't really have to do with handouts or anything else. It's clever marketing.
Yeah, I really do think it's a trend. I think people see what they should.
Yeah, what the media portrays.
On social media, and then everybody's like, oh, that's the way to go. That's what everybody else is doing. That's what we're going to do instead of doing their own research.
What is the difference between education and indoctrination?
Indoctrination is being told a bunch of crazy stuff that's not even true out there, and being told how to think, what to think, when to think, and to think that you're not good enough to live on your own without the government. And you are good enough. We're all good enough. Everybody. I don't care what color you are. I don't care who's in your bed. We're all good enough.